How about Will Wade? How about the new coach of the NC State Wolfpack men's basketball team? He is going to be so good for making college basketball in the Triangle, college basketball in the ACC more entertaining. He is the new kid on the block, and he is looking for the biggest and the baddest to punch in the face on the recess field. Metaphorically, but heck, maybe not. Ven-Allen Lubin committed to NC State. It was official today. The official accounts tweeted it out from State's basketball program. Ven-Allen Lubin is going to NC State. That is an announcement of a bunch of different varieties. It is an announcement from Will Wade to the ACC that to quote Deion Sanders, right? They're coming. Now, for those of you that don't know the background, Ven-Allen Lubin spent this past year at Carolina, playing for the Tarheels. And he kind of came alive late in the season and played really, really well in the ACC tournament and put up a couple 20-10 games in some of the biggest games of the season. And for that reason, many UNC fans were expecting and excited to have him back.
Yeah, a lot of double-doubles late in the year.
Then he went into the transfer portal. And in a weird, it was right when, I don't know if you remember this, there was a portion of the offseason where a bunch of players with no eligibility left, they had played 4 years, full years, no injuries, nothing crazy. They were just putting their name in the transfer portal. He put his name in the transfer portal as well, even though he has eligibility. And then he put out a tweet saying, this is all due to pending litigation, and I'm in the portal, but I fully expect to return to UNC. And it kind of was weird, but everyone, okay, I guess. I don't know. Strange. Now he's committed to NC State, signed, sealed, delivered, officially announced. I have 5 talking points on this. This is how good this news is. There's 5 just like categories. First of all, he's a really good player at a position of need for NC State. If he had no connection to any other team in the Triangle, this is a good move for NC State. The Wolfpack need big guys. I wouldn't say he's a rim protector, right? He's I think listed at 6'8", maybe plays in some ways bigger than that, in some ways smaller than that, meaning he rebounds well, he can score around the bucket well, but he's not really protecting the bucket. But still, for a program that needs guys that can give you minutes at the 4 and the 5, because it seems like they have a billion wings, a couple good point guards, they need minutes at the 4 and the 5, it's a good pickup. Second of all, I think this is a message from Will Wade. I think his priorities this offseason were change over the roster, get guys that he chooses, have people that fit his system, and, if possible, bonus if he could get a transfer from either UNC or Duke. You go back to his very first introductory press conference when he was named the head coach at State. He said, I believe he referred to them as bully neighbors. And we knew who he was talking about. And I think he, if possible, he was looking for a way to bully the bullies. If you remember when Ian Jackson hit the transfer portal from UNC, there were links to NC State, right? Mostly rumors. We don't know how real it was, but there were links there. Nobody from Duke really has hit the portal, so he hasn't had the opportunity there. But I think he was out to send a message loud and clear that we can take from you just as easily as you can take from others. Third of all, take a step back before you call Ven-Allen Lubin a liar, right? I know that he said he expected to go back to UNC, and Carolina fans are going to be hurt by that because, you probably did talk yourself off of some metaphorical ledges, right? You probably tried to talk other people off some metaphorical ledges. No, he said he's coming back. Didn't you see the tweet? It's just because of the NIL and the blah, blah, blah. He's blah, blah, blah. He's coming back. There's this new thing that is hitting in college basketball over the last handful of years. It's called money. Everybody has a number. And I'm not saying that's the only reason he left, but if I say I'm going to stay, and then somebody puts a number in front of me that's crazy, I don't think you lied. You just changed your mind. And you're going to have to get used to that. How many times in professional sports do we hear somebody say, I would love to retire a blank. I want to be a one-team guy. And then what happens? Free agency hits and they go somewhere else and they're talking about being disrespected by their home program because they didn't come up to the market value.
And we've all done it in our personal lives, taking a new job. Actually, you know what? They're offering me something better.
I don't think it's lying. I don't think it's deceitful. I think it's I said it, I meant it, and then the situation changed. And I'm allowed to change my mind, and sounds like that's what happened. Fourth of all, this is another reason why that new ACC schedule stinks. Why rivalries matter. Ven-Allen Lubin making the jump from UNC to NC State. The electric game would have been his return to the Dean Dome, wearing the other team's jersey. When he's wearing red amongst all that Carolina blue. When he walked in, how electric would that have been? We're never going to get to know. Because the ACC has NC State playing Virginia twice instead of UNC. Because UNC is hosting Syracuse in addition to playing at Syracuse, rather than hosting and visiting their rival Wolfpack. That would have been electric. And it would have been the good kind of electric, too. I don't think, by the way, by me saying that Ven-Allen Lubin wasn't a liar, I don't think that should make him impervious or shielded from the trash talk that comes with making that move. Like, you know what you're doing when you make that move. When you go from one side of the rivalry to the other side of the rivalry, you know that there's going to be a clever sign making fun of you. You know you're going to have to perform or else they will be all over you. You're going to have to make buckets, and if you leave the game scoring 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting, you're going to hear it. Like you should be trash talked. That's part of the good of rivalries. And fifth of all, this is why I can't trust a lot of y'all. All you fans out there, you listeners right now, I like to brag about you. Right? When I talk to media people in other markets, I say we have a super educated, super smart fan base, meaning sports group, sports culture here in the Triangle. But then something like this happens, and I see UNC fans who loved him in the tournament and were so excited for him to return next year that he commits to NC State, and I'm seeing, oh, well, you think that's going to change you? He's not even a good player. I'm going, wait a second. And same vice versa, right? State fans were arguing about how, oh, you think 6'8" is a good enough big man? Ha, ha, ha. UNC, he's no good. And then turn around, he commits to State, and it's like, he actually plays way bigger than his listed height. You can't flip-flop like that and have me trust you. It's not, you can be a fan, right, and just rose-colored glasses, your players, and talk bad about everyone else's players. I get you, but then you're just going to lose a little bit of credibility. If you admit that you see everything through your fandom's eyes and people on your team you're just going to think are better than if they're playing for another team, that's fine. But then, your opinions on players on other teams are going to be not taken as seriously because you've admitted that you look at them and just say they're bad because they're wearing another uniform. That's 5 different ways to look at. I mean, what is he? During the season, I think he was like 8 points, 5 rebounds guy. He wasn't playing huge minutes the entire season. Did finish strong, but the moment you get rivalries involved, it becomes something else. Right? It all comes back to what I've been saying since the moment I took over this show. The secret sauce of college sports are rivalries. That's the ingredient. That's the one that's not on the recipe.
Like you said, finished the year strong. Last 10 games, averaged 13.6 points and 7.7 rebounds a game,
and had some of his biggest games in the tournament.
Yeah,
we were right there. There were games where it felt like he didn't take a single shot outside of like arm's distance to the rim.
Yeah,
and B didn't miss more than like 20% of his shots. It was when he got the ball down low, it was some of the best offense North Carolina had, and that's a need for State. They have all of these wings. They have all of these shooters, right? They have all of these new guys that play a certain role. He's going to have to be, at times, the post presence, the roller, the screen setter that they're looking for all those ball handlers. And yes, he deserves to be. Gosh, he should have to go to he should have to go to Carolina. He should. He should have to wear that one for a day. But the ACC bailed him out. Instead, he'll go an extra time to Virginia, where I'm sure Charlottesville will really give him the gusto.
No, they won't.
Yeah, that was a. I hope my sarcasm came across there. They'll probably try to slow it down and limit his possessions.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Although Ryan Odom doesn't. I mean,
different coach.
I was going to say it's going to be weird if they start getting up and down.